Today I'm going to be talking about the 6 areas that you really need to master if you are looking for a life led by your intuition, by inspired action, so that you can create a life of complete abundance in every area that you want to. Now, I've got a little diagram here because I want to show you, can you see that here? My kind of take on our energy. If you have a look at the dotted lines, that will be our aura. If you have a look at the little center dotted line, this is what we're conscious of. This is all the things we know that we can easily access in our mind. This is a lot of left side brain stuff. That's us in the middle. And all of this other area, see how big it is our unconscious. The things that we know about our life that we've stored away. Now this line across the middle is the past. And this is where we're going. We're here now. So the reason I'm showing you this is that the bigger you can make this conscious circle, the more you can spread it out into all of this information that lies in your unconscious, the more self-aware you're going to be, the more your own master you're going to be. Now, the other things I've got on this diagram are the energy coming down into your crown, inspired actions, and grounding energy, so Gaia energy. And then we have these red arrows. These are external situations. These are things that come and affect us unconsciously. And the other way is how we respond to them. So this little diagram, this is our awareness. This is our unconscious. These are the things that come into our energy and affect us unconsciously, because you can see how much information there is in that unconscious compared to our conscious mind, how we show up. So the reason I'm telling you this is because my whole ethos in working is not just about healing energetic wounds. It's about bringing you self-mastery. It's about bringing you into your own power and about changing the way you behave. So going back to the visual, in here, in this unconscious, are deeply embedded limiting beliefs. I know that you will know some of them. They'll be in your awareness already. But you know very much how when you drive, it's something that you just go into autopilot to do. That is a skill that's held in your unconscious. So you've learned it and it's gone down because you don't need to actually have to go through the learning of it again and again and again. Now I know when I'm driving, so when I'm accessing my unconscious, if someone gets in my way or cuts me up on the road, it triggers quite a severe South London expression of anger. And it comes from nowhere. It's not something that I actively walk round with, but it is in my unconscious, that response. So the reason I'm giving you that little introduction is because I'm going to talk to you today about the six areas that I believe that you need to master so that you can become your own master, so you can stand in your own power. You can work out what is your own stuff, what is somebody else's stuff. You can come from a complete place of authenticity and integrity. And you can keep expanding and growing. The ultimate is to expand your awareness, your conscious mind, into this great big area that is all about your unconscious. So everything that we've experienced so far is down under the line, and you can see quite a lot of it is in the unconscious. Now that's the past. The reason I talk about the past is not to relive drama, is not to drag over old coals, but it is to simply hear the story, because the story holds the energetic key. The story of where you've been, of the things that you've experienced are completely stored in your cells, in your body, and in your unconscious, which is vast. And by looking at the past and understanding and accepting that you were different back then than you are now, perhaps you were a child, perhaps you were a teenager, perhaps you were disempowered, perhaps you were reliving a pattern or a story that you inherited from one of your parents or your grandparents, or perhaps you'd stepped into the shoes of a much loved friend wanting to be liked. All of these are past stories that are worth uncovering and looking at and seeing your part in them. Because when you see your part, you can celebrate the learning that you had back there. You can also notice if you're still playing it out in your now, and whether or not you're actually living expecting that to happen again in the future, which is not helpful ever. The other thing to master is your own energy. Now, I talked a lot about this yesterday. I talked about how to bring your energy back into your center, how everything is down to you. You know, how you feel is your responsibility. No one out there, no single situation out there or person can make you feel a certain way. What happens is that you already feel like that. The person or the situation comes and triggers you. Your energy flies all off the handle. You perhaps behave in a way that you're not used to because it's in your unconscious. You can't remember where it's come from. So the past and your own energy, they're really important things to master in your own journey of self-expression and spiritual development. Then we come to the inner child. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Carl Jung here, and I hope it's not too intellectual. I'm sure it's not. He inspires me in that he was one of the first people to have a look into the mind of the human. Some of his stuff I don't like, but this particular archetypal work I think is very, very interesting, and I see it at play a lot. He had a theory that every single human basically had common archetypes, 4 of them. So the first one is the victim. Now, I know that in my life I've played the victim very well. The other 3 are the self-saboteur. Now, you'll know if you've got that or if it's dominant in you, because everyone on some level has it. The prostitute. So what do you do in terms of not valuing yourself? What do you give to others for nothing? This is prostitute energy, and it's an emotive word, but he used it in terms of the human psyche, in that when you didn't feel good enough, when you didn't feel valued, you would give too much of yourself. And all of us have that on some level. And then there's the child within. And I'm going to talk to you about that, because once you've mastered your inner child, and it may be that you have a wounded inner child, a joyful one who plays all the time, but perhaps too much, a spiritual inner child, or a fairy inner child, you know, a mystic down there. Now, all of these aspects of this particular archetype are worth getting to know, because your inner child is your creativity. It is your own self-love. It's where you learned to love or be loved. It's where you learned your value. And it's very much in the past, so it's very deep in the unconscious. Now, I find with my clients, and I know from my own experience, a lot of the healers out there, me included, suffer greatly with a wounding of the inner child. You know, we come and we're very sensitive, and we have our parents who love us, but our parents don't know how to parent us in the way that we need it. So we become wounded. We feel that we're not good enough. We turn to people pleasing to fit in. We bury our gifts. So the inner child is an area that we really do need to master in terms of being able to manage our energy, to look at our past in love and gratitude, and to be able to step forward as an adult rather than a wounded child who triggers and throws her toys out of the pram all of the time. I have been known to do that. You know, as I said earlier, when I'm driving my car, sometimes that angry child comes right out. Now, the next part is your shadow. Now, I've talked to you all a lot about shadow. Your shadow holds all of the parts of you that you're not comfortable with based on your past, based on what you've experienced in energy, and based on how you have experienced your life and childhood and different relationships. Now, the shadow is not just dark. It holds so much potential. It holds so many things that you can learn about yourself, and it holds you in your wonderful light, the part of you that you aren't ready to step forwards to yet. So shadow work for me is a must when you are expanding. It's all very well thinking that you've healed an emotional wound, but let's go down into it and have a look at what that emotional wound has created in you. I know that for me, I have a very strong inner critic. I can be extremely critical of myself and of my loved ones. And this comes from my dad. He used to critique everything I did on a negative vibe, but not because he didn't love me, but it was because he wanted to keep me safe and to stop me from failing. Unfortunately, it made me feel like I was a failure. So fear of failing is something that I hold down inside of me, and my inner critic comes and talks to me at night, telling me all of the reasons why I shouldn't be doing what I should be doing, because, you know, you're going to fail. You should have heard her last night when I came up with this idea of expanding the live stream today. She was there from about 3:30 this morning telling me all of the reasons why I shouldn't do this, and, you know, who was going to listen to me? You need to be quiet. But I know her very well. So I have a dialogue with her. Okay, I see that you're helping me. I see that you want me to keep to be safe. But you know what? This is because you're afraid, and I want to step up. I want to shine, and I want to be seen. So I have a dialogue with her. I understand her very well. And in that dialogue, I am able to quiet her. And it shifts my energy massively. And here I am talking to you guys. Now, the other thing that I think is really important for you to master is your connection with your higher self. Now, our own individual higher selves are way somewhere in the cosmos, and they hold all of the information about ourselves that we can't hold in our consciousness here, but they know everything. They're always connected to us. Us. When I see someone working with their higher self, I see this kind of silver ethereal thread that comes down into their heart. And I know when someone is taking inspired action based on a little push from their own higher self, it has a vibration to it. It has a real determination, motivation, and love and joy about it. There's expansion. Now, it's difficult for us to hear our higher selves often because of our self-saboteur, our victim, our prostitute, our wounded child, our other archetypes that come in behind us. You know, I have a bit of a joker as well, and I have the inner critic. I have the, you know, I like to be right, as my partner Stuart likes to tell me. A lot of which are based on my dad, actually. But I've learned to dance with them rather than to have me squashed by their weight. So I'm able to sit, push them out of the way, open my channel, be clear in my energy, and ask for guidance. Not just from my guides, you know, my spiritual guides who are with me, but from me, from my inner world, from my inner knowing. You know, we know everything we need to know within us. It's just whether or not we can listen and whether or not we can uncover enough of our stuff so that we can open up to it. Now, the sixth thing is bringing these things together, these last three things. So the inner child, the shadow, and the higher self. Now, when they work together, they are magic. As I'm sure you all know, that triangle symbol is the symbol of the universe for birth, for expression, creativity, for making things. And when we bring the inner child, the higher self, and the shadow together, we create that geometric shape, and we can actually really birth our own potential. After all, we are here as expressions of the universe. We are here to experience life so the universe can expand. And I want to help you do that. My journey has been a long one. It's been, lifelong, in particular the last 20 years and the last 12 very much on my own personal development in energy, in shamanic traditions, in all sorts of different psychologies, and my own downloads of how to work with people. And I've only ever worked with people one-to-one online. I hold group workshops at home historically, which I love. And I want to bring that to you guys now. And in January, I'm beginning my group program, The Healer's Journey, which involves all of these 6 areas that I believe are so important in mastering who you are, mastering your own potential and standing in your own personal power. I really want to work with as many of you as I can, and the reason that I'm here today is because I've got a very special offer with it, and it's only open for 24 more hours. Now, it's 3 payments. No, not going to be able to have a payment plan like that again, and it's a discounted price of $797. Now, the other thing about this special offer is there's a free session with me, a private session with me included. There's an extra call, so you get 7 calls, live calls with me. The first one's on Monday. Then there's all of my e-courses included for you to keep and hold forever, which has an extra lot of shadow work in there, has an extra e-course on energy work. So I really want to urge you, if you are thinking that you want to have less anxiety in your life, if you're thinking that you want to attract your soulmate, if you're thinking that you want to expand your business, you are your business. Expand your own understanding of who you are and of your energy and of your absolute potential and power, and watch how your business changes. I know this happened to me. 4 weeks ago, I broke my elbow and I thought, oh my God, how on earth am I going to manage? But I used all of the tools that I know work for me. I worked on my energy. I worked on my triggers. I worked on my shadow, my inner child, and I sat with my higher self. And I've had, since I broke my elbow, the most amazing experience in terms of new people coming towards me to work with me. It's been just wonderful. So it just shows you that when things come in and stop you from doing what you think you need to, it's because there's other things that you will be better at. So I would say to you, please have a look at my group program. It is for you, whoever you are. If you're a healer, if you're an energy worker, if you're walking a spiritual path, if you're working in the spiritual entrepreneur arena, if you're serving anyone and you want to do more for them, this will let you do it. It will bring you so much more passion and love to your own life. There we are. I'm so excited about it, can you tell? Anyway, I'm going to stop harping on now. Now, I am offering this thread open to all of you. So if you've got things that you want to talk to me about in terms of these 6 things, so your past, your energy, your inner child, shadow, your higher self, and how to work with your shadow, your inner child, and your higher self together, pop it in the comments. I can't read the comments at the moment because of the way my eyes work with these glasses. So I will come back. I'm going to leave it open all day, which will be some of my nights. So if I miss you, I'll come back in the morning tomorrow and answer again. I will be back on the stream, live stream again tomorrow. And I'm going to be looking at another one of these subjects, and I'm going to be breaking it down a bit more. So do join me. Give me your questions and comments, and let's see where we go from there. I can't wait to work with you. Come and let me know what you need. Lots of love. Bye.